Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore some amazing historical United States coins. We'll cover their design, history, mint marks, and current market value in full detail. Do you have any of these coins? You might unknowingly be holding a valuable treasure. Today we'll discuss the full history, rare varieties, and real market prices of these coins. So make sure you watch the video till the end. Let's get started. The United States of America 1-cent coin dated 1941, commonly known as the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent, is one of the most historically meaningful coins produced during a turning point in American and world history. This small copper coin represents not only everyday commerce in the United States, but also the political, economic, and cultural atmosphere of the early 1940s, just before America officially entered World War II. The coin carries several iconic inscriptions, including "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," each reflecting national ideals and values deeply rooted in American identity. Although millions of these coins were produced, and many still exist today, the 1941 penny remains a favorite among collectors because of its historical background, classic design, and connection to the wartime era. The design of the 1941 1-cent coin belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. This series marked a major change in American coinage because it was the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than symbolic imagery such as Lady Liberty. The coin honors Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who is remembered for preserving the Union during the Civil War and abolishing slavery. The portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side was designed by Lithuanian-American sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear subtly on certain issues of the series. Brenner's design was selected in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coin portraits in American history. On the obverse front of the 1941 Lincoln cent, Abraham Lincoln faces to the right. Above his portrait appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," which symbolizes faith and moral guidance within the nation. To the left of Lincoln's profile is the word "liberty," representing freedom and democratic ideals, while the date 1941 appears on the right side. Depending on where the coin was minted, a small mint mark may appear below the date. Coins produced in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those minted in Denver display a D, and those from San Francisco show an S. These mint marks help collectors identify production locations and determine rarity levels among surviving coins. The reverse back of the coin features a simple yet elegant agricultural design. Two wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges, giving the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. At the top is the inscription "United States of America," while the denomination 1 cent appears boldly in the center. Above the denomination is the Latin motto "E Pluribus Unum," meaning "out of many, one," symbolizing unity among the states. The wheat ears represent prosperity, growth, and America's agricultural strength during the early 20th century. This reverse design remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The 1941 Lincoln cent was struck in very large numbers because the United States economy was recovering from a Great Depression and industrial production was increasing rapidly. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 887 million coins, the Denver Mint struck more than 128 million, and the San Francisco Mint produced around 92 million pieces. These high mintages mean that the coin is generally common today. However, condition plays a huge role in value. Coins that survive circulation with minimal wear, especially those with bright original red copper color, are much more desirable to collectors. Composition is another important aspect of the 1941 penny. The coin is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing approximately 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. This copper composition would soon change due to wartime metal shortages. Just 2 years later, in 1943, the U.S. Mint produced steel cents coated with zinc to conserve copper for military equipment. Because of this, the 1941 penny represents one of the last pre-war copper issues before major wartime adjustments affected coin production. Collectors often study the condition of a coin using grading standards that range from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. A circulated 1941 penny typically shows wear on Lincoln's hair and coat, while higher-grade examples retain sharp details and original luster. Coins classified as Mint State Red, MSRD, are especially valuable because copper coins naturally darken over time. Finding a bright red 1941 cent today is increasingly difficult, making such examples more collectible. Errors in varieties, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can significantly increase a coin's value. Historically, the year 1941 holds special significance. During this period, the United States was preparing for possible involvement in global conflict, and economic mobilization was accelerating. Later that year, the attack on Pearl Harbor would bring America into World War II. Coins like the 1941 Lincoln cent circulated widely among soldiers, workers, and families, making them silent witnesses to a transformative era. Holding one today connects collectors directly to that historical moment, when everyday objects carried stories of uncertainty, resilience, and national unity. In terms of value, most circulated 1941 pennies are affordable and accessible to beginner collectors, often worth only a small premium above face value depending on condition. However, uncirculated examples or coins with strong red coloration can be worth significantly more. Exceptional high-grade specimens certified by professional grading services may reach impressive prices at auction. The Denver and San Francisco mint versions are sometimes slightly more desirable due to lower mintages compared to Philadelphia issues. The enduring popularity of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series comes from its balance of artistry, history, and accessibility. Unlike extremely rare coins that only wealthy collectors can obtain, the 1941 penny allows almost anyone to own a genuine historical artifact. Its design remained unchanged for decades because Americans developed a strong emotional connection with Lincoln's image and the symbolism represented by the wheat ears. Even today, coin collectors often begin their numismatic journey by searching for wheat pennies in old collections, coin rolls, or inherited jars. Another fascinating aspect of the 1941 1-cent coin is how it reflects technological craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint during the early 20th century. Coins were struck using high-pressure mechanical presses that require precise die engraving and careful metal preparation. Variations in strike quality sometimes occur due to worn dies or differences between mint facilities, creating subtle distinctions that advanced collectors study carefully. These small details transform what appears to be a simple coin into a subject of deep research and appreciation. Over time, the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Cent has become more than currency. It is a historical document made of metal. The 1943 United States 5-cent coin with a P mint mark, commonly known as a 1943 P Jefferson nickel, is one of the most historically important coins ever produced by the United States Mint. This coin belongs to the famous Jefferson nickel series and is especially significant because it was struck during the height of World War II, a time when the United States was deeply involved in global conflict. The 1943 P nickel is often called a wartime silver nickel because, unlike regular nickels made of copper and nickel, it was produced using a special silver alloy due to wartime metal shortages. The coin features a historic home of Thomas Jefferson, Monticello, on the reverse, and it carries important inscriptions including "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," reflecting the national values and unity of the United States during a challenging period in history. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the earlier Buffalo nickel design. The obverse of the coin displays a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The portrait was designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose design won a national competition held by the U.S. Mint. On the obverse of the 1943 P nickel, the words "In God We Trust" appear along the left side of Jefferson's portrait, while the word "Liberty" and the year 1943 appear to the right, separated by a star. These inscriptions are deeply symbolic. "In God We Trust" expresses a nation's reliance on faith and moral strength, particularly meaningful during wartime, while "Liberty" represents a core democratic principle for which American soldiers were fighting abroad. The reverse side of the coin features an image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Above the building is the inscription "E Pluribus Unum," a Latin phrase meaning "out of many, one," symbolizing the unity of the American states. Below the building appears the word "Monticello," followed by 5 cents, and then "United States of America." What makes the 1943 P nickel unique is a large P mint mark placed prominently above Monticello on the reverse. This was the first time in U.S. coinage history that the Philadelphia Mint used a mint mark on a circulating coin. The oversized mint mark was intentionally placed there to make it easy to identify the special wartime alloy composition. In 1942, the United States government faced a critical shortage of nickel metal because it was needed for military equipment such as armor plating and weapons manufacturing. To conserve nickel for the war effort, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the 5-cent coin beginning in late 1942. The 1943 P nickel was struck using a special alloy consisting of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This composition allowed the mint to continue producing 5-cent coins without using strategic nickel metal. The inclusion of silver makes these coins particularly appealing to collectors today, as they contain intrinsic precious metal value in addition to historical importance. The mintage of the 1943 P Jefferson nickel was very high, with over 271 million coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone. Despite this large production number, many coins were heavily circulated during the war years and show significant wear today. Finding well-preserved examples with strong detail and original luster can be more challenging. Because the coin contained silver, many were also saved or melted in later years when silver prices rose. As a result, collectors often seek high-grade specimens certified by professional grading services. When evaluating the condition of a 1943 P nickel, collectors pay close attention to the steps of Monticello on the reverse. Coins with sharply defined steps are classified as full steps, FS, examples, and are especially valuable. On circulated coins, the fine details of Jefferson's hair and Monticello's columns may appear worn. However, uncirculated coins retain sharp detail and may display a bright, satiny luster. Unlike copper coins that turn brown, wartime silver nickels often develop a gray or slightly golden toning over time due to a unique alloy mixture. Historically, the year 1943 was one of the most intense periods of World War II. American troops were fighting in Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. The production of wartime nickels reflects how even everyday currency was influenced by the demands of global conflict. Citizens using these coins in daily transactions may not have realized they were holding silver currency, but they were indirectly participating in the national war effort. Every 1943 P nickel symbolizes sacrifice, adaptation, and resilience. In terms of value, most circulated 1943 P silver nickels are worth more than face value because of their silver content. Even in worn condition, they typically carry a premium above 5 cents due to the precious metal. Uncirculated examples, or those with full steps, can be worth significantly more, especially in high mint state grades such as MS65 or above. Prices fluctuate depending on silver market value and collector demand. Error coins, such as double dies or off-center strikes, can command even higher premiums. The design of the Jefferson nickel has endured for decades, though it has undergone modifications over time. The wartime issue of 1943 remains one of the most distinctive chapters in the series. After 1945, the mint returned to the traditional copper-nickel composition once wartime restrictions were lifted. However, the large mint mark above Monticello remains a unique identifying feature exclusive to the silver wartime nickels minted from late 1942 through 1945. Collectors often appreciate the 1943 P nickel not only for its silver content, but also for its historical story. It represents innovation during crisis and demonstrates how the U.S. Mint responded quickly to national needs. The coin connects modern collectors with a generation that lived through global war, rationing, and economic mobilization. It is a small but powerful artifact of American history. Physically, the coin weighs approximately 5.00 grams, slightly lighter than standard nickels due to the altered composition. It has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a smooth edge without reading. The alloy silver content gives it a slightly different sound when dropped compared to regular nickels, though this is not a reliable authentication method. Authentic wartime nickels can always be identified by the large mint mark above Monticello. In conclusion, the 1943 P Monticello 5-cent coin is far more than ordinary pocket change. It is a wartime innovation, a silver-bearing collectible, and a tribute to national unity during one of the most challenging periods in American history. With its portrait of Thomas Jefferson, its depiction of Monticello, and its symbolic inscriptions, "In God We Trust," liberty, and e pluribus unum. The coin stands as a reminder that even small object can carry deep historical significance, whether kept for its silver value, its collectible appeal, or a connection to World War II history. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel remains one of the most fascinating and meaningful coins in United States numismatics. The 1878 United States 1-cent coin is a historic and fascinating piece of American numismatic history, belonging to the famous Indian head cent series. When people hear 1-cent 1878 United States of America, they are referring to a copper coin that circulated during a period of industrial growth, westward expansion, and economic transformation in post-Civil War America. The coin carries a proud inscription United States of America on the reverse and represents a time when small denomination coins played a major role in everyday commerce. Unlike modern pennies, which are mostly zinc, the 1878 cent was made primarily of copper and has a solid, heavy feel that reflects 19th century minting standards. The obverse front of the 1878 Indian head cent features the iconic portrait of Liberty wearing a Native American-style feathered headdress. Although many people believe the design shows a Native American woman, it actually represents Lady Liberty wearing a symbolic headdress. The design was created by James Barton Longacre, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. Longacre introduced the Indian head cent design in 1859, and it remained in production until 1909. On the 1878 issue, the word Liberty is inscribed on the ribbon of the headdress, though in lower-grade coins this detail is often worn smooth due to circulation. Around the rim of the obverse appears the inscription United States of America, while the date 1878 is positioned at the bottom. The reverse back of the 1878 Indian head cent features a wreath composed of oak leaves tied together with a ribbon at the bottom, symbolizing strength and unity. At the top of the wreath is a small shield, representing national defense and protection. Inside the wreath appears a denomination 1 cent. This reverse design was introduced in 1860, replacing the earlier laurel wreath used in 1859. The oak wreath and shield combination became a defining feature of the Indian head cent for the remainder of its production. The historical context of the 1878 1-cent coin is extremely important. The year 1878 fell during the Reconstruction era, a time when the United States was rebuilding after the Civil War. Industrialization was accelerating, railroads were expanding across the country, and new technologies were transforming everyday life. President Rutherford B. Hayes was in office at the time, overseeing a nation that was politically divided but economically growing. Small coins like the 1-cent piece were essential for daily transactions, especially in rural communities and growing cities. In terms of mintage, approximately 5,797,000 Indian head cents were struck in 1878. All were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, as branch mints did not produce cents during this period. Because there is no mint mark on the coin, collectors identify it simply by its date. Compared to some earlier Civil War era issues, the 1878 cent had a moderate mintage, but survival rates in high condition are relatively low due to heavy circulation. The composition of the 1878 Indian head cent is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, sometimes referred to as bronze. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters, similar to modern pennies in size but heavier in metal content. The bronze alloy gives the coin a rich brown color when circulated, though uncirculated examples may display original red or reddish-brown luster. Over time, copper reacts with air and moisture, creating darker tones that many collectors appreciate for their vintage appearance. Grading plays a major role in determining the value of an 1878 1-cent coin. In lower grades such as good G4, the coin may have heavy wear, with much of Liberty's hair detail and the word Liberty on the headband nearly invisible. In very fine VF condition, more detail is visible in the feathers and wreath. In mint state MS condition, the coin shows no wear and retains original mint luster. Red, road specimens, which still have bright copper color, are especially desirable and can command significantly higher prices than brown BN examples. The Indian head cent series, including the 1878 issue, is popular among collectors because it bridges two important eras of American coinage, the pre-Civil War period and the industrial age of the late 19th century. The design itself reflects 19th century artistic tastes, combining classical symbolism with uniquely American imagery. Many collectors enjoy assembling date sets of Indian head cents, and the 1878 coin represents a key piece within that collection. Another interesting aspect of the 1878 Indian head cent is its connection to economic policy. During the late 1870s, the United States was debating the role of silver and gold in its monetary system. The Bland-Allison Act was passed in 1878, the same year this coin was struck, requiring the government to purchase silver and mint silver dollars. Although this law primarily affected silver coinage, it reflects the broader economic environment in which the 1878 cent circulated. Over time, many 1878 Indian head cents were lost, damaged, or melted. Those that survive today often show signs of age, such as corrosion or environmental damage, especially if stored improperly. Proper preservation is important for maintaining value. Collectors typically store these coins in protective holders to prevent further oxidation. From a value perspective, an 1878 Indian head cent in circulated brown condition may be worth several dollars, while higher-grade uncirculated examples can be worth significantly more. Coins with strong eye appeal, sharp strike, and original red color are especially sought after in auctions. Prices vary depending on condition, certification, and market demand. In conclusion, the 1878 United States 1-cent Indian head coin is a remarkable artifact from a transformative era in American history. With its elegant Liberty design by James Barton Longacre, symbolic oak wreath reverse, and solid bronze composition, the coin reflects the craftsmanship and economic realities of the late 19th century. It circulated during a time of Reconstruction, expansion, and political change, making it more than just currency. It is a tangible connection to America's past. Whether valued for its historical importance, artistic beauty, or collectible appeal, the 1878 1-cent coin remains a treasured piece of United States numismatic heritage. The 1971 United States $1 coin with no mint mark, commonly known as a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, Philadelphia issue, represents a powerful moment in American coinage history. This large and impressive coin marked the return of the dollar coin to circulation after a 5-year absence following the end of the Peace Dollar series in 1935. It carries the historic inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," which reflect the nation's foundational principles of faith, freedom, and unity. The $1,971 was created to honor one of America's most respected military leaders and presidents, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and also to commemorate the achievements of the United States space program, particularly the Apollo 11 moon landing. For collectors and historians alike, this coin symbolizes patriotism, technological achievement, and the cultural spirit of the early 1970s. The obverse front of a 1971 Eisenhower dollar features a bold left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Eisenhower served as a supreme commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II before becoming the 34th President of the United States from 1953 to 1961. Above his portrait appears the word Liberty, arching along the rim of the coin, while the motto "In God We Trust" is placed to the left of his neck. The date 1971 appears below the portrait. On coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1971, there is no mint mark, which is why they are commonly referred to as 1971 no mint mark dollars. This absence of a mint mark is normal and indicate production at the main Philadelphia facility. The reverse back of the coin carries a dramatic design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia. It depicts an American eagle landing on the surface of the moon while holding an olive branch, symbolizing peaceful exploration. In the background, the Earth can be seen rising above the lunar horizon, representing humanity's achievements in space exploration. Above the eagle is the inscription United States of America, and below it is a denomination $1. The Latin motto E Pluribus Unum appears above the eagle, reinforcing the theme of unity among the states. This reverse design was created by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparo, who based it on the official Apollo 11 mission patch. The mission itself was carried out by NASA, marking the first successful manned moon landing in 1969. The release of the Eisenhower dollar in 1971 was historically significant because it ended the long gap in dollar coin production that followed the final minting of the peace dollar in 1935. Rising demand from casinos and collectors encouraged the U.S. government to reintroduce a dollar coin. Additionally, honoring Eisenhower shortly after his death in 1969 was seen as a fitting tribute to his leadership and military service. The coin was approved by Congress and quickly entered production. In terms of composition, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar struck for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 22.68 grams and measures 38.1 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the largest coins ever issued for regular U.S. circulation. Its reeded edge gives it a distinctive feel and appearance. Unlike special collector versions produced in San Francisco, the regular 1971 no-mint mark coin does not contain silver. The total mintage for the 1971 Philadelphia Eisenhower dollar was very high, exceeding 47 million coins, making it a common issue in circulated grades. However, despite this large reduction number, many coins were heavily used in commerce, resulting in worn examples being far more common than high-grade uncirculated specimens. Because of the coin's large size and heavy weight, it was not widely popular with the public for everyday transactions, and many were stored rather than circulated extensively. Collectors today often evaluate the 1971 no-mint mark Eisenhower dollar based on condition and strike quality. Coins are graded on a scale ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. Circulated examples usually show wear on Eisenhower's hair and facial features, while uncirculated coins retain mint luster and sharper detail. One important factor for collectors is strike strength, as some 1971 issues are known for weak strikes, especially in the details of the earth and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. High-grade coins certified by professional grading services can command significantly higher prices than average circulated examples. Another interesting aspect of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is its cultural and historical context. The early 1970s were a time of change in America. The Vietnam War was ongoing, the space race had recently achieved its greatest victory, and the nation was experiencing economic and social transformation. The combination of Eisenhower's image and the Apollo 11 reverse design reflects a strong sense of national pride, military strength, and technological advancement. It connects two major eras, World War II leadership and the space age. Although most circulated 1971 no-mint mark Eisenhower dollars are worth only a small premium above face value, uncirculated examples in higher mint state grades can be more valuable. Coins with exceptional luster, minimal contact marks, and strong eye appeal are particularly sought after. Additionally, certain varieties, such as double dies or other mint errors, can attract collector interest and increase value. The Eisenhower dollar series continued until 1978, after which it was replaced by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. Despite its short run, the Eisenhower dollar remains an important transitional coin in U.S. numismatic history. It represents the last large-sized dollar coin produced for circulation in the United States and stands as a tribute to both a respected president and the triumph of American space exploration. In conclusion, the 1971 United States $1 coin with no mint mark is much more than a simple piece of currency. It honors President Dwight D. Eisenhower, commemorates the Apollo 11 moon landing, and reflects the spirit of unity expressed in the motto E Pluribus Unum. With its bold design, large size, and historical symbolism, the coin remains a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts. Though common in circulated condition, it holds deep significance as a symbol of American leadership, innovation, and national pride during a transformative period in the country's history. The 1881 cc United States $1 coin, widely known as the 1881 cc Morgan silver dollar, is one of the most fascinating and historically significant coins in American numismatics. Struck at the legendary Carson City Mint, this silver dollar represents the spirit of the American Old West, the expansion of silver mining, and the economic transformation of the United States during the late 19th century. The coin proudly displays the national mottos "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum," along with the denomination $1, reflecting the unity, faith, and identity of the growing nation. The small but powerful CC mint mark beneath the wreath on the reverse instantly connects this coin to one of the most romanticized mints in American history, the historic Carson City Mint, located in the silver-rich state of Nevada. The 1881 CC dollar belongs to the famous Morgan dollar series, which was produced from 1878 to 1904 and briefly again in 1921. The series was authorized under the Bland-Allison Act of 1878, legislation that required the U.S. Treasury to purchase large quantities of domestically mined silver and convert it into silver dollars. This political compromise between silver mining interests and monetary reformers resulted in millions of large silver coins entering circulation. The designer of the Morgan dollar was British-born engraver George T. Morgan, whose artistry gave the coin its distinctive and enduring beauty. On the obverse front of the 1881 CC Morgan dollar appears a left-facing profile portrait of Lady Liberty. Unlike earlier coin designs that used purely classical European features, Morgan based Liberty's face on an American woman, Anna Willis Williams, giving the coin a more national identity. Liberty wears a Phrygian cap adorned with cotton and wheat, symbolizing agricultural prosperity and freedom. Above her head is the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Surrounding the rim are 13 stars representing the original colonies, along with the date 1881 at the bottom. The detail in Liberty's hair and cap is one of the key areas collectors examine when grading the coin. The reverse back of the coin features a powerful American eagle with wings outstretched, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing the nation's readiness for both war and peace. Above the eagle appears the motto "In God We Trust," inscribed within a decorative banner. Around the edge are the words United States of America and $1. Beneath the wreath at the bottom is a small but highly important CC mint mark, identifying the coin as having been struck at the Carson City Mint. This mint operated from 1870 to 1893 and primarily produced silver and gold coins from Nevada's rich Comstock lode mines. The historical background of the 1881 CC Morgan dollar is deeply connected to the silver boom of the American West. The discovery of the Comstock lode in Nevada in 1859 created one of the richest silver mining regions in history. To process the silver locally and reduce transportation risks, the federal government established the Carson City Mint. Coins struck there, especially silver dollars, have long been admired for their connection to frontier history, saloons, railroads, and the rapid westward expansion of the United States. In terms of mintage, approximately 296,000 1881 CC Morgan dollars were produced. Compared to millions struck at other mints such as Philadelphia and San Francisco, this number is relatively low, making the 1881 CC a desirable collector coin. Interestingly, many of these coins were stored in Treasury vaults for decades and remained untouched. In the 1970s, large quantities were released by the General Services Administration, GSA, in special holders, creating a new generation of collectors interested in Carson City issues. Because of this storage, many 1881 CC dollars survive today in remarkably high mint state condition. The composition of the 1881 CC Morgan dollar is 90% silver and 10% copper, with a total weight of 26.73 grams and a diameter of 38.1 millimeters. The coin contains approximately 0.7734 troy ounces of pure silver, giving it intrinsic bullion value in addition to its numismatic premium. The reeded edge and large size give it a substantial and impressive feel in the hand, quite different from modern smaller dollar coins. When grading an 1881 CC Morgan dollar, collectors carefully examine the high points of Liberty's cheek and hair, as well as the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse. Because many examples were well preserved in vaults, high-grade mint state coins are relatively obtainable compared to other Carson City dates. However, coins with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp strike detail command significant premiums. In top grades such as MS65 and above, the 1881 CC can reach impressive auction prices. The appeal of the 1881 CC Morgan dollar lies not only in its silver content or mintage, but also in its symbolism. It represents a time when silver was central to American monetary policy, when the West was still rugged and expanding, and when large silver dollars were a primary form of commerce. Holding this coin is like holding a piece of frontier America, a time of mining camps, steam locomotives, and growing cities in the desert landscape of Nevada. Another important factor is a strong collector demand for all Carson City coins. The CC mint mark have become one of the most recognized and desirable mint marks in U.S. coin collecting. Even individuals new to numismatics quickly learn that CC coins often carry a premium due to their lower mintages and romantic Old West history. Among the Carson City Morgan dollars, the 1881 cc is especially admired because it combines relative availability and high grade with classic Western heritage. Over the decades, the Morgan dollar series has become one of the most collected coin series in the world. Its large silver format, beautiful design, and historical importance make it a favorite among both beginners and advanced collectors. The 1881 cc issue stands out as a centerpiece in many collections, particularly for those focusing on mint-mark varieties or Old West themes. In conclusion, the 1881 cc $1 coin is far more than a silver piece of currency. It is a historical artifact representing the silver mining boom, the economic policies of the late 19th century, and the adventurous spirit of the American frontier. With its elegant Liberty portrait, powerful eagle design, and legendary CC mint mark from the Carson City Mint, the coin holds a unique place in U.S. history. Its blend of artistry, silver value, and frontier heritage ensures that it remains one of the most respected and sought-after Morgan silver dollars ever produced. Whether admired for investment, collection, or historical interest, the 1881 cc Morgan dollar continues to shine as a symbol of America's expanding West and its rich numismatic legacy.